The atmosphere in the mining town of Coal Valley grew suspicious when Constable Jack Thornton decided to pay a visit to Kat Montgomery, a widow struggling to raise her 3 children alone. As soon as he entered, Jack's gaze fell on where Kat stored her whale oil. "I see you have quite a supply of whale oil," Jack said, his voice tinged with scrutiny. Kat confirmed, and Jack further commented on the rarity of this oil. "People don't use it much these days." Kat calmly explained that she had to special order this oil for her candle-making craft, a side job she started after her husband died in the mine explosion, to supplement her meager widow's pension, because she still had 3 mouths to feed. Jack seemed to understand, but then unexpectedly steered the conversation. "I guess that kind of situation can sometimes make a person angry, can't it?" Kat merely replied that it can be stressful. Jack continued to probe about the memorial service 6 weeks prior at the mine, a service Kat had not attended. She explained she chose to mourn her husband privately at home. Jack skillfully linked Kat's absence to the night the town's church was burned down. Kat firmly retorted, "Then you can go tell the good pastor that I didn't burn down his church." But Jack wasn't letting go. He asked how an identical tin of whale oil to the kind you use could have been found in the ashes of the ruined church. Kat, feigning surprise, asked back, "Whale oil? Was it used to burn down the church?" Jack confirmed, "It seems so." When Kat directly asked if he was accusing me of arson, Jack vaguely replied, "Not accusing. Just asking a few questions." Before leaving, he asked to keep one of her tins of whale oil, and Kat agreed. At school, teacher Elizabeth Thatcher was contemplating her profession. In the schoolyard, Albert Pockets Bickley was being bullied. "Empty your pockets, Pockets," one of them yelled. Elizabeth intervened in time, assigning the bullies a classroom cleaning task and gently reassuring Albert, "You have a good eye for treasures. If those boys bother you again, you'll come tell me, won't you?" Elizabeth went to Kat's house and found her friend deeply troubled by Jack's suspicions. Kat explained about the whale oil tin being found. Elizabeth found it ridiculous, because whale oil mostly just smokes and gives off a strong smell. Kat sadly said Jack thought it caused the fire, and she was the only one in town who used that type of oil. That night, Emily overheard her mother and Miss Thatcher talking. She whispered to her brother Gabe, "What's an arsonist, big brother? I'm scared, what if they take Mom away?" The next day, Mayor Goen, accompanied by Spurlock, the head of security, a former Pinkerton agent, came to see Jack. Goen expressed concern about the church fire investigation, noting that the church was built by his company and had burned down a month after the mine disaster, which he found suspicious. Gabe, Kat's son, unexpectedly walked in, asking Jack directly, "Is it true you think my mom burned down the church?" Jack tried to evade, but Gabe insisted on knowing the truth. Jack explained he was just asking his mother some questions. But when Gabe asked if Jack could promise his mother wasn't a suspect, Jack had to admit, "No, unfortunately, I can't." Gabe angrily retorted that he would fight Jack if he tried to arrest his mother. After Gabe left, Goen continued to pressure Jack, wanting him to arrest Kat if she was the culprit to maintain order. Jack replied that he wanted to investigate more thoroughly before accusing a widow with 3 children. In another development, Elizabeth was pleased to see Rosaline, the student who had been mute, happily drawing and starting to speak. Jack appeared at the schoolhouse again, looking urgent, saying he needed Elizabeth's help. He explained he was trying to clear Kat from the suspect list but was struggling due to incriminating evidence. He wanted to ask Kat's children some questions, hoping they could provide an alibi, because no one in town could vouch for Kat on the night of the fire. Elizabeth initially refused, but Jack pleaded that Kat could be in serious trouble. Finally, Elizabeth agreed. Jack questioned each child privately. Her 2 older sons, Gabe and his younger brother, both said their mother told them she wanted to be alone and had returned home late on the night of the memorial service. After they were asleep, Mrs. Abigail Stanton had stayed with them until Kat returned. However, Emily innocently told a different story. Mom didn't come home until the next morning. When the sun came up, I asked her, but she just said she was too tired to talk about it. The rooster crowed too. This contradiction made Jack even more convinced that Kat was hiding something. When Jack and Elizabeth confronted Kat at her home, she maintained her innocence but refused to explain clearly in front of her children. I'm sorry, Constable. It's not convenient for me to talk about it right now. Jack was forced to take Kat to the station for further questioning, despite Gabe's resistance and anguish, as the boy screamed, "You're trying to arrest my mom. You can't do that. I hate you." Kat tried to soothe her son, telling him to be strong. At the station, Kat finally agreed to tell her story to Jack, though the details were not yet revealed. Jack said he would verify it immediately and promised that if it was true, this would be over soon. Elizabeth visited Kat, bringing a letter Kat had written for her children. She questioned Jack about arresting Kat. Jack firmly stated he had a responsibility to treat everyone fairly and asked Elizabeth to be patient. While Kat was detained, Elizabeth took care of her children. The whole town was abuzz, many believing Kat was the arsonist. This further distressed Gabe and made him doubt his mother. A crucial clue suddenly emerged when Albert Pockets Bickley brought Elizabeth an expensive necklace he had found in the creek. He said Mr. Spurlock had asked him to look for it and promised him a penknife as a reward, because Spurlock knew Albert liked to find things and keep them. Spurlock told Albert the necklace fell out of his pocket. Elizabeth gently told Albert she would return it to Mr. Spurlock, and that gifts that come from the heart are truly precious. Elizabeth took the necklace to Kat. Upon seeing it, Kat exclaimed, "I thought I'd never have to see it again." She told the whole truth. Her husband, Joe, was a good man but had a gambling addiction and owed a large sum of money. After Joe died, the creditors came calling. Spurlock, who also knew Joe, approached Kat, offering to pay off her debt on the condition that she be friendly with him. Kat angrily refused and threw the necklace, Spurlock's gift, into the creek. On the night the church burned, Kat had gone to the next town to pay off all her husband's debts with her pension money and earnings from her candles. She kept this a secret so my children wouldn't lose the good memories they had of their father. Elizabeth decided to confront Spurlock. At his cabin, she discovered a tin of whale oil and traces of a recently extinguished fire. Elizabeth exposed him. "You planted that tin at the church, after the fire, to make it look like Kat did it. You took that tin from her shed and burned it right here." Spurlock became aggressive. "You have no right to judge me. I offered to save her and those kids, and she turned me down." Just then, Jack arrived in time. He had verified Kat's story was true. Jack arrested Spurlock and rescued Elizabeth. Kat was released and tearfully reunited with her children. Gabe choked up as he apologized to his mother. At the Sunday service held outdoors, Pastor Anderson publicly apologized to Kat for doubting her and admitted the church likely burned down due to an accident. He also apologized to the community for his shortcomings. Kat, with forgiveness, invited him to continue presiding over the service. The episode concluded with Elizabeth and Jack on a picnic. Elizabeth thanked Jack for saving her. Jack responded humorously. A spider suddenly appeared, startling Elizabeth and causing her to accidentally fall into Jack's arms, creating an awkward but warm moment. Elizabeth reflected in her diary, "Sometimes, a tin of whale oil found in a fire isn't what it seems, and sometimes, love arrives just in time to save your life."